Today I want to talk about quality from a developer perspective. I want to know how many of you are currently doing coding, developers? Right, not that many. Okay, so bear with me. I will talk mostly with the terms from developers. My role currently is engineering manager. So my job is only R2 mostly. First thing is to help new developer to find their passion. What is their passion? What they want to do with their career. The second one is to help them be a good or better developer. That's the only two jobs that I do every day. So, so my talk is about our story in blibli.com, where we want to encourage everybody, especially developer, to be a better developer and give a framework for them to maintain their work at the highest level. Okay, before we start, I just want to introduce myself and give you a background on what I'm currently doing. So my name is Ifnu. I'm working for blibli.com for last 5 years. I'm basically a Java developer mostly, and a little bit JavaScript developer. And currently I'm working with 30 developers, mostly on the UI part, front-end developers, Android developers, iOS developers. And my team responsible of delivering blibli.com UI, both in the web and mobile apps. So here's the agenda of my our discussion here. I would like to give input from you on what you've done in your company in terms of quality and how to ensure the highest possible quality. So this is coming from a perspective of developers. So if others speaker were mostly a Scrum master, or maybe Agile evangelist, or people in management, my background is really a developer, and every day we work with code, right? So developer is the biggest part of software development team, but usually in Agile culture, in Agile conference, in Agile community, we mostly talking about the processes, but I will talk more about tools and some practices that we do as a developers in Agile culture. So all these things we do is to achieve one thing, which is deliver the highest quality. So if we're talking about quality in software, we talk about two aspects: internal quality and external quality. So here mostly I will talk about internal quality, how we create the best possible code, highest quality code, and maintain that over time, even when you expand into hundreds or thousand engineers. Okay, so the first agenda is we'll talking a little bit about quality and the history of quality in industry, not only in the software industry, but in manufacturing and everything. And then what Agile think about quality, Agile culture thinks about quality. And then this is the most important part of my talk. What is a developer do in regards of quality? A lot of misconception about quality is a job of QA, right? But in Agile culture, right, you will see later, the quality is a responsibility of a developers. And then I will share you about our quality process, how we approach quality, and how we approach delivering the best possible quality. And this is my dream, personally. We want to achieve this in the future, but we are not that near to this dream. So anyone knows this gentleman, remarkable gentleman? Okay, so I'll give a name. His name is Edward Deming. So anybody rings the name? One of his technique. So Edward Deming, if you don't know here, if you are a Japanese person or working in Japan, you will absolutely know him. There's a statue of Edward Deming in Toyota office. So he's the single-handedly help Japan post-war to resurrect their manufacturing. So he teach about quality, and he is regarded as the gurus, regarded as a quality guru. Every time especially in manufacturing, if you talk about quality, everybody will talk about Deming. Right. So I came to know this gentleman in my class in operation management. So currently I'm a student of, I'm an MBA student. So the professor of operation management class asked me the same question. So anyone here knows this gentleman? Anyone knows here knows about Edward Deming? So even in wider community, MBA student, not many of us know about Deming. But that's really unfortunate because he's the one that resurrect Japan post-war and help this giant company like Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba, Honda, and Toyota to achieve highest quality and efficiency. Especially Toyota. It's known as the smartest company, company that really embrace quality and efficiency as their competitive advantage against their competitor. Only by improving quality, Toyota wins the car war against any other competitor. So I personally also have a big thanks to Edward Deming because now I own Toyota. A Toyota Yaris. It's really good car. It's very reliable. It runs hundreds, thousands of kilometers without any glitch, right? You will not find that kind of quality in other car, especially maybe, sorry to say this, American car. It breaks down often, and that's why they lost against Japanese car manufacturer because of this, their attention to quality. Toyota also trigger lean movement, lean manufacturing, lean startup, lean methodology introduced by Mary Papandik and her husband. And it's been widely successful because they really touch into the most important things when you have services and product, which is the quality. Right. So I heard one of my professor during that class, the operation management, was director of engineering, manufacturing engineering in Toyota Astra Motor Indonesia, and he said in Toyota, marketing is not that. It's not that prominent. I'm trying to avoid important. It's not that prominent because the product itself is really good in quality. It sells itself. They don't need to have a very elaborate marketing to sell Toyota car. Because everybody understand that Toyota is always the best quality. It will run hundreds of kilometers, and it will stay like that for many, many years. Right. Okay, let's go to my favorite quote about quality. The bitterness of poor quality remains long, long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten. So if you buy a low price product or services, you will be super happy during the purchase, right? I can get a huge bargain on this product or services. But then once you start using it, when you start trying to get value out of this product, you will get really upset because it breaks down often. It doesn't do what it means to do. It doesn't serve the purpose, and you lost a lot of things. You lost your time, you lost your energy, maybe you lost your business in some cases because of low quality. So in terms of definition, what is quality? ISO 8402, sorry, I'm not really familiar with this one. Say it. Quality is about 3 elements. The first one, their feature and characteristic of a product and services satisfy stated or implied needs. So there's a product and services, there's a characteristic of this product or services, and then there's a stated or implied needs, right? So in a shorter terms, a quality product or services is fitness for its purpose. So it serves its purpose well, right? But recently the quality meaning is leaning toward this, superiority. So it has better superiority against their competitor. So it's even harder to achieve this, because achieving this itself is a big task to do inside an organization. Right, so knowing what is quality, so let's see what Agile culture thinks about quality. This is a little bit surprising that actually in Agile Manifesto and 12 Principles of Agile Software, it doesn't mention anything about testing and quality in the wording. If you go to agilemanifesto.org and you search for tests, you search for quality, you will find nothing. And then you go scroll down and you go to 12 Principles of Agile Software, you click it, and you search again about testing, quality, nothing's there. All right. So the mentality of Agile culture is really this one. Quality is inherent part of Agile culture. If you implement Agile, it implies that you also consider quality as part of your everyday task, right? So what it means when you have an organization of teams that trying to create software and implement Agile culture. It means that your developer needs to really strive for the best quality possible. So if you already implement Agile as a process, for example, you already know that the Agile is the best for your organization, it fits your purpose, and then you start to reorganize the whole team. You put 3 roles, right? Product owner, for example, you implement Scrum. You put 3 roles, product owner, and then Scrum Master, and then the developers, right? And then you start doing the ceremony every day. That's really good start, and that's the foundation for everything, because that's how teams should work, right? I don't see other way of doing teamwork and developing software better than that. It's really fit the purpose, but the developer inside the team should not stay like before they're doing Agile. They should not code the same way. They should not have a mentality that this is very common. Quality is not my problem, right? I do only code, and then QA will test for my quality, right? I don't test my code. So sometimes developer is too, I don't know, regard themselves as the smartest guy or something like that, and they don't test their code. They just think that my logic is always right. That's also a sign that I also find some developers do a code in production environment. Right, and they don't test it. They just code and then that's it. And then suddenly everything breaks, the page become error, and you see a blank page, and so on and so on and so on. So the developer in your team should strive for quality and implement all of these good things, proposed by Agile community at large. So you need to start doing continuous integration. I mean, you should not build in your local and then deploy it to production. That's insane. I mean, we've done that, and reflecting to that moment, I was like, that was insane. And then and then your developer, or you as a developer, need to start doing automated unit testing. And then if your organization fit with this, you should do pair programming. Not always like 100%, but at least once a while, pair programming is needed. Pair programming is the best way to mentor, to coach new developer, and the best way to work if you have a 2 senior developer working on very difficult problem, because 2 head is always better than 1 head. But pair programming is not for everybody, because talking to each other 8 hours a day from morning to afternoon is exhausting, right? Some people only have like 1,500 words per day capacity on talking, right? They like to stay still and then doing their work on silent. And then start thinking about test-driven development. How you frame your logic in terms of how I test my code before even you write your code. Because that's important. If your code involves third-party connectivity, like you connect to third party, you should think how you will test that code if you don't have any access to that third-party API, because maybe the agreement is not yet sealed. Maybe the commercial part of the agreement is not settled, but you have to start working on the code. So you have to think how to test that. Because if you wait until the integration time to test your code, it's already too late. You need to test you need to be able to test your code right after you write it. Or even better, if you're already in a state, in a very high skill of doing test-driven development, you write the test first and then the code later. And then to maintain the readability of the code, you need to implement some kind of design pattern, some kind of standard that the team agrees on. So if you change theme, if you see like 10 years old code, you still can read it well, right? Domain-driven design is also important to make communication of internal system with outside world easier. So if you're talking about like user, you also see there's a user class inside your code. So if you're talking about member, there's a member class in your code. At least there's one of the domain-driven design can give you advantage. And then the last, keep refactoring your code, because over the time, the code quality can deteriorate if many people working on the same place. Right. So my argument here is that once you implement Agile processes inside your organization, you should not stop there. You should go all the way here, because processes is only scratching the surface of how to deliver quality code or a quality product. Processes will help you to work better with others, to organize things, to surface the problem, to communicate with each other. But then you need to deliver highest quality. So next step for me, in my experience working with Agile, is this one, is to coach your developer and put in place tools so that we ensure all of your developer is writing the best possible code. So this is what we've done in blibli.com. We have what we call quality process to ensure the quality. If you learn about quality from Quality Guru, one of the best advice I've taken from there is that quality is started from right the beginning. So the first thing first in our quality process is plan better. So before even you try to develop something, you plan better. So we'll elaborate later. And then once developer writing the code, implement what we already planned, implement quality gate. Make sure everything developer commits to the code base is in the highest quality. Otherwise, reject it. Right. Do not allow bad code goes to your repository. And over time, keep improving, keep adding quality gate inside, keep adding criteria of quality. So we'll see later once we get there. And then once you have better planning, impose quality gate, then you need to automate everything. You need to put your quality gate inside automated system. You need to put the better planning inside your automated system also. And then once this software is written, once everything is tested, putting the code inside production is also need to be automated. And this is the hardest part, hire the best. So if you can do this at the very beginning of your organization, it makes everything looks super easy, right? If you can hire the best, if you have a luxury to select the best out of one generation and you can repeat that in every generation, then everything will be much, much easier. I will touch on this topic of hiring the best. Right, to plan better, we use a high fidelity prototype because picture for us tells everything. So if you remember, my team's working mostly on the blibli.com UI, the mobile apps and the website. So for us, high fidelity prototype is super important. And we use this high fidelity prototype as a requirement. So we still have a QA. The QA will test both the functionality and the design. They also match the design of the application against this high fidelity prototype. We use three applications: Zeppelin, Envision, and Mockups. And then this is more on a product manager side. If we have any initiative, we are trying to analyze that from the business standpoint. If it is a problem, if it is business problem, let's state the business problem. If there's a certain goal to achieve, let's state that upfront before the initiative started or development started, so that we, in the end, once the things implemented, we can evaluate whether our effort is reaching our goal or solving the business problem. So this is a mockups. This is prototype of our recent initiative, which is creating AMP page, accelerated mobile page in blibli.com. And this, you can see, is exactly the same as the result, exactly the same. The QA team will also check whether the font is correct, whether the color is correct, whether the margin is correct, whether all the interaction is also correct. This for us as a front-end developer and mobile apps developer is really changing the way we work, really changing the way we work. We start implementing this last year, I think start of the last year. 2015, we start to have this kind of initiative, and it helps us a lot. So I can demo a little bit about Zeppelin. So here is our Zeppelin. So if you see from the top to the bottom, it exactly the same with the result that we want to achieve. Everything is here. Unfortunately, we don't have interaction here, because if there's interaction, if it's clicked, it should go to the other page. Right. I cannot demo other pages because I don't have a connection here, internet connection. So if you haven't started to do high fidelity prototyping, I suggest you to start doing it and start hiring a UX designer, because it will help a lot. You can use this high fidelity prototype to present to other stakeholder, like your CEO maybe, or your senior manager, so that they can understand what we are trying to implement. This is also aligned with Agile principle to eliminate waste. If you demo to your maybe board of director after you implement the code, then like 3 months effort can be a waste. Developer effort can be a waste. Because working on this kind of prototype is much easier than working with the actual application. We also use mockups at the start in 2015. This is only mockups, yeah. It's basically mockups, not high fidelity, it's low fidelity. We use this mostly in our internal application, where fonts, margin, and maybe color is not that important. We limit the usage of mockups not only in internal application. For customer-facing application, we use Zeppelin and InVision. And this is an example of business statement and business goal before we start the AMP initiative. So the product manager look into our numbers and run it and get some perspective. So the conclusion of this exercise is that our mobile web generates the highest traffic. You can see here, the purple one, the highest traffic, yet it has the highest bounce rate. The bounce rate is very high compared to mobile app, compared to desktop web, but it has a highest bounce rate and a lowest conversion rate. So our mobile web is in actually a big trouble. It eating our traffic, but it has high bounce rate and low conversion rate. So the customer is coming into a channel where it is actually give us the less money. So the initiative of creating AMP page is to overcome this problem. How we solve the high bounce rate and low conversion rate inside our mobile web. So this is really set in the beginning of the effort, not in the end of the effort. So everybody knows what is the purpose of this feature, or what goals we want to achieve. That is very important in Agile culture. That is important in the planning part, because now everybody knows what the goal is. If you know what the goal is, the process, you can alter that to achieve the goal. You can be very agile. Okay, so this is our goal. This is our plan to achieve that goal. But in the middle, you know that the plan will not work, will not solve the goal, or will not solve the problem. Then you can alter that in the middle of execution. If you run this number and come up with this kind of information in the end of the project, in the end of the initiative, then it will be too late. And it will be one of the what is it? The highest source of a waste, which is you implement something, it doesn't achieve the goal, it doesn't solve the problem. This is more in a developer part. Every code coming into our code repository needs to be reviewed at least by 2%. And in some team, the code review is really excruciating. Some of my developer is commit a code to other team, and those team will keep reviewing the code until almost 2 weeks. So we commit the code and pull requests to this team, and they say your code is not that good. You need to fix this. We fix that, and then commit and pull requests again, and then they come back with more points we need to fix, and so on and so on. So code review is very important. So all the code that go into code repository need to be reviewed, especially if it is from junior team. That's usually if the code is already committed and go into the main branch, it's already like too late. Before we do a merge, the build in that branch needs to be successful. And to achieve successful build, all unit tests should successful, or if the unit test fail, the build will break, and the code cannot be merged into main branch. Unit test coverage is lower than before, then it will break. The build unit test coverage on a new code less than 90%. This is very high. It's very difficult to achieve 90% of the coverage. It will break the build. Any major security issue, it will break the build. So these two we are trying to implement in the future. We can now, there are tools that we can put inside our build code to test for the performance. If the performance decrease, then break the build. In the UI team, we are trying to do UI testing by developer. So this is not UI testing done by QA, but it's done by developer. So we test for flow. Unit testing only tests for logic in one method or in one class, but UI testing will test the flow also. If the API return one response or the API return another response, the flow will go to a different direction. So we're trying to implement unit testing in a mock environment. If it's failed, then the build also break. This one we implement in a newer framework we are using. We implement linter error. So if you write a code and you don't put space properly or semicolon properly, the build also breaks. Right. And we will keep adding more quality gate here in the future, just to make sure that the code going to our code base is in the highest quality possible. Okay. So we are using tools to do automation like Bamboo and Jenkins. And then in a QA team, they use GBehav to do a functional test and Gmeter. In mobile apps QA team, they use Appium, right? Appium, yeah, Appium. Hire the best. Software engineering is difficult. To be graduated from computer science is not that easy. And then delivering quality software is even more difficult, like what we are talking here. But the most difficult for me is building profitable software business or services or whatever you do, profitable. That's also difficult. So to achieve all of these three, only hire the best. Blibli.com done a lot of things to hire the best. We visit a lot of university to have a cooperation with them and ask for their best graduate every year to come to Blibli. We promote Blibli.com using several media. We do a lot of things. The most interesting part when Blibli.com start doing TV commercial in 2014 is that the highest difference, the page that visited most is still homepage, but the page that visited like 12 times before the TV commercial and after TV commercial is our career page. So TV commercial help us hire the best also. If you have that kind of visibility, then use that to hire people and get people know you. This is our dream. With the quality, we want to be able to put whatever developer works today into production tomorrow. Not 3 weeks after sprint finish. No, today you finish, tomorrow the code will be there in production. To do that, we need to have all the quality gate, we need to have all the automated testing, we need to have all the environment testing available to us, so that everything will, so the story goes like this. You as a developer start coding today, right? You finish in the afternoon and you put all the tests needed for that code. And then you commit, everybody some of your colleague will review the code, your boss maybe will review the code, and then the build with all those quality gates successful, then you can do a merge. Once the code merged in the midnight, all the environment tests, all the automated tests will run, will be done in an environment that really very close to the production environment, so that we can make sure the code is okay. And the next day, we get a report. The code is okay, all the change is okay, all the quality gate is passed, and in afternoon, QA can do a deployment to production with one click. And then once the lunch over, they can back to their desk and do sanity tests with automated for several minutes, and then done. And then we work again tomorrow like that. That's my dream. So it's not something impossible to achieve. One of the firms that already done that is Uber. They deploy daily with confidence. So you can read this article to see how it implemented in Uber. I cannot say it for Blibli.com because it is still our dream. We haven't achieved this, but we want to achieve that in the future. The first thing is trade-off between quality and speed. So if you want to have a best quality, then you need more time. If you want to deliver really fast, then you compromise on quality. So based on my experience, compromise in quality will not make you run faster. That's absolute statement that I have no doubt of. So you think that you run really fast by like deploying more feature in a really fast pace. But then if that feature is get a good traction and you get a lot of traffic coming to your website, your code start to suffer. Maybe because of security, maybe because of performance, maybe because of the user interface is not that good. Then you have to go back to that feature and then you have to work again. So it seems like you step three forward and then you step backward. So my personal opinion right now is that you need to achieve quality first, right? And then slowly increase your team productivity, implement a lot of tools to help maintain the quality, and then go faster bit by bit from there. Right.
So I guess the management knows that the quality is the most important aspect of the development.
Yes, we are really grateful with the business side of our company that they know if we implement something without good planning, for example, sorry. So sorry. So from here, you will see that the quality comes from the business side first, because they have to plan what to build, right? So they know they include the quality in their work too. So when they come to us, they will not come with one line story, or like one line user story or one line backlog, say that I want this feature, that's it. No, they will come up with this kind of high fidelity prototype. They will come with this kind of business goal and business statement. So they really know that if your business people is not in this level, do a communication with them, because they will responsible on this in the end, not us as an IT team. We should not say us and them. We should say we. All right. The second part, outsourcing. It depends on your business goal. Back to the basic. Is your business goal is creating the best service possible, or you want to create adequate solution or services or software, and then your sales team can do the rest. If your goal is like Toyota, you want to deliver the best quality content management system, you should insource everything. You should put the team, you should put the competency inside your team instead of outsourcing it to others. Okay, so I think time is up. If you guys still have any question and you want to talk with me more, please we can do it after the session. Thank you, everybody.